Conflict erodes soul. No matter where in the world you are, it screams at you from the TV screen, shouts from the newspaper headlines. Layer by layer, it settles in the depth of our souls as thick, gray ash. With each new conflict, it builds up, makes it hard for us to breathe. No country is far enough. The world, wrapped in the web of social networks, lives and hurts as one being. Over the centuries, we have repressed a huge amount of anger, shame, and guilt. This collective shadow is buried deep in our unconscious. We refuse to recognize it or face it, being in complete denial. And we hate it about ourselves. From time to time, it tries to come up to be healed. But our fear of it is so strong that instead we resort to projections as a defense. We find other people wrong for what we face in ourselves. All of us, people, countries, organizations, do the same thing. We find an enemy to project our shadow on and wage a war on them. And so, the conflict continues. Earlier this year, I was asked to speak at a female leadership conference about Ukrainian women and challenges and opportunities they will face rebuilding their country after the war. As a Ukrainian myself, born in Kyiv, who spent 3/4 of her life abroad, I delve in the past and try to foresee the future. I realized the extent emotional trauma has on the generations. The ongoing war, just like all past wars, torments our collective soul. The war is horrible enough when it blares at us from the TV screen. But it is a million times harder when it bursts through your window, blows up your house. It struck me that for Ukrainians to rebuild their country, first of all, they have to rebuild themselves. The future of Europe is being reshaped just now. For the first time, Europe can see Ukrainians en masse. They come raw, vulnerable, not as business visitors or tourists, not like opportunity seekers, no makeup on. Most of them are women with children, rucksack in one hand, baby in tow, war in their eyes. I am, like yourselves, in awe of their bravery. Once again, they come as ambassadors of their country, not on their own volition, but neither did Anne, Queen of France, wife of Henry I, or Roxolana, sold as a slave to the Ottoman Emperor, who became his only married wife and trusted advisor. Both of these women left a deep impact on Europe. Our small borough in the southeast of England has one of the densest populations of the displaced Ukrainians in the UK. I saw a lot of them taking my mom, who evacuated from Kyiv to her English class at the local church. Two things I heard most commonly from these women. I want to go home. I need to find a job. They want to find a job not only to be busy or not to be a burden. For a Ukrainian woman, it is extremely hard to ask for anything. They want to keep busy, to chase away their nagging thoughts. How is my family back in Ukraine? How are my loved ones? They feel guilty. For many, it was a tough choice to leave. For adults in Ukraine are expected to care about their elderly parents. Who would you choose to save? Your teenage daughter or your old mother? There is a survival guilt as well. I am safe here, while those who are left behind are not. Women are the hearth of the household, its heart. When this heart is broken, there is a draft in the house. There are also women who stay in Ukraine and fight alongside their men or volunteer, bring food and medical supplies. One of them tells me, there are no men or women in war. The only time I remember I am a woman is when my natural cycle reminds me. A female figure in Ukraine has been historically strong, respected. Mother has a decisive voice in the family. Ukrainian female is featured in a folklore romantically with admiration. There is a longing for love. The songs are sad because the life was hard, explained my dad when I was little. A man could be drafted to an army for 25 years or sold to another landlord miles away. A woman had to cope. In the predominantly agricultural Ukraine, which only shed a yoke of feudalism in the late 19th centuries, women engaged in husbandry equally with their men. In fact, there is no such word in Ukrainian as husbandry. It is called farm management. If you add to this 70 years of the Soviet power, when the right to work was in fact a duty, idleness was punished, and no one heard of housewives, one could gather why Ukrainian women did not have to fight for emancipation. Many, in fact, had to be a breadwinner, for in the society prohibiting any form of entrepreneurship, men devoid of means to express themselves gravitated towards addiction. Women had to get on. This may explain to some degree why, in the 21st century, Ukrainian women somewhat miss on the benefits of modern feminism. Their compatriots who live in Europe for some time have to explain to their incoming sisters that their rights at work are protected by the legislation, that the abuse should not be tolerated. People who come from Ukraine are shocked by an equal part men in Europe play in the household chores and child upbringing. It is tragic to say, many a man will not come back from war. Losses are terrible. People who come back from the front line describe this war as apocalyptic. There is high morale and heroism, and there are huge lows due to the attritions and relentless shelling. I have to smoke marijuana daily, or else I would lose my mind, said one man. Another, a 28 years old history teacher, describes a different value system of the battlefield. There is joy, there is sorrow. Bright sparks of friendship on one end, and on another, extreme physical and emotional fatigue and signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. We endure and fight with the clenched teeth. If it is not me, who will protect my home and my family? Their motivation to defend their country is what keeps them going. But can you imagine this? They have to sit for weeks in the cold basements, in trenches, waiting for another attack, not knowing when another shell will come. They will have to see with their own eyes all of this: dead, wounded, blown off heads, torn off limbs. No one's psyche can withhold this. When they will return from the war, those who will return from the war will be different. We have seen this in history already after the World War I and World War II, although at that time there was not much there was not much talk about mental health. People come back from war with a hole inside. If you'd like to read a stunning account of what war trauma does to human psyche, I very much recommend a brilliant book by Pat Barker called Regeneration. Women are natural builders of their nest. We care more about other people's feelings than about our own. Women will get a grip and carry on, cope with the loss, grief, despair, and put up their shoulder to rebuild their country. Because for women, it is natural to create comfortable surroundings for their kids, for their men, for the future generations. It will take some time for life to get back to normal. Many women, losing their normal surroundings, will lose their identity. Many women will suppress their feelings and remain frozen inside. We have to think about generations of Ukrainian girls who will have lost their fathers in the war. Some of them will have to become a male for their mother, for in Ukraine, children are expected to carry emotional burden of their parents. To help Ukrainians to rebuild their country physically, we have to help them to rebuild themselves mentally. This is not particularly easy in the country without a widespread culture of psychotherapy. Lack of special programs proved to have dire consequences after the first wave of the war in 2014 and 15. They need rehabilitation facilities. Most of all, they need experts with the experience of work with the war trauma, with the victims of tortures. I would like European and world governments who support Ukraine to help create and finance such overreaching mental health programs for adults and for children, because children are our future. We have to rebuild ourselves as well. These past few years made so many of us all over the world suffer. How many times have you heard people saying, "The world has gone mad"? No, it has not. It just wants us to grow. A conflict is both a challenge and a chance to develop. We arise scattered and bruised and different. A mental illness in Ukrainian is called an ailment of the soul. We have to heal our collective soul. We have to stop projecting our self-hatred on other people in the forms of war and other acts of aggression. We have to finally face this shadow and let it go. No one can save the world by themselves. But when a person makes a significant change to their awareness, it causes a ripple effect through the collective and contributes to healing of human unconscious. Let's cure our collective soul.